championship game. The team Sachem's Flaming Arrows versus the West Islip Lions. If that rings a bell, it's because these teams met a year ago in this very same game, and here's how it turned out.
Game alone against Smithtown East. The final play of the game. This is in Solia. He's got Nick Neary, an incompleted pass, but I believe that will end it. West Islip 24-7 over Sachem. Suffolk County Division I champions, and you see the celebration, Emerson Boozer at midfield.
Well, this is quite with that victory, the West Islip Lions won their first Rutgers Cup. A very excited team, Emerson Boozer, and they did it because turnovers figured very prominently in that game. Sachem made the turnovers, West Islip capitalized, and what do you think we can possibly expect today as these two teams meet again in this championship game?
First of all, Barry, I don't think we'll have the turnovers from Sachem that we had last year that put them immediately into a 17-point hole, and it was catch-up all the way. Today, it'll be rock'em sock'em football.
This club, the West Islip Lions, comes in undefeated, seeking a second Rutgers Cup. On the other hand, as we look at their record, they have scored 104 points against their opponents and given up just 14 in the last 3 games. And they have been a dominant football club offensively as well as defensively. They give up less than 6 points a ball game. So they're very strong at both ends of the field. And as far as Sachem is concerned, they lost only once this year to Lindenhurst. They avenged that loss, Emerson Boozer, with a big win last week. They too can score quite a few points and have an excellent defense.
Indeed they can. I think if there's strength in this ball club, it's at the tailback position, but the defense is what carries them all year long. They've done it some 8 ball games. We'll see it happen again today.
Many Division I prospects on both teams today, and one of the outstanding running backs you'll see in all of Suffolk County, a young man who plays the tailback, Dave Shanahan. He's gained well over 800 yards this year.
Coming off a big 3-touchdown week, he is just an outstanding senior. I think if he has a strong suit, along with his running ability, he's a great blocker, Barry.
Also, Ralph Isernia, another guy they'll be running the football with effectively, Joe Grespin and Wayne Wilson. They have depth in the running back department, and the quarterback is John Walsh. He's not a great thrower, but he's a good leader. They've got a couple of fine receivers, and the defense is very solid. On the other hand, for West Islip, they have a very multiple type offense. They have a fine quarterback in Greg Welchens. He can throw the football. He's thrown for 6 or 7 touchdowns, and they too have an outstanding running back, Joe Provosto.
Provosto is a similar type back. He's coming off of a big week last week, 3 touchdowns. He's the kind of guy that can hurt you from any place. They run that multiple offense, as you mentioned. They'll run the veer, they'll do the wishbone, they'll do some power eye, but they'll hurt you with it.
They've got an outstanding wingback who was hurt last week, Bill Berkey. He's an all-county linebacker as well. He had a hip pointer, but he'll play today. He's caught something like 5 touchdown passes and run for 5. Tough fullback in Mike Capazzo and another in Frank Oliveri. So they both feature running attacks and excellent defenses. Carl Reuter returns with the referee in charge in just a moment. You're watching exciting high school football on Cablevision. Jerry, here's a free pass to our next game.
Thanks, Barry, and here's something free for you, a free Apple Bank checking account.
Free?
Absolutely free. No monthly maintenance charges, no per check charges, nothing.
I can write all the checks I want at no cost?
The only charge you'll get is out of Apple Bank's fine service, and we'll pay you 5.25% interest on balances of $700 or more.
Apple Bank for savings. We're good for you.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
You see, today is tomorrow in Japan, so when you come for a car tomorrow, it will be today.
Life takes a time. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Take it to Midas.
At Midas, we can replace mufflers, brake shocks, or struts on most foreign cars, and we won't take all day to do it. Time is money.
Take it to Midas.
If I wanted it tomorrow, old chap, I wouldn't be here today.
Take it to someone you trust.
Midas of Suffolk, with 7 convenient locations in Suffolk County.
Back here at West Islip High School, I'm Carl Reuter with the referee in charge for today's game, Nick Warren's off. And Nick, usually we talk to the coaches and get their perspective on the game, but being in a big game and they want to be with their team right now, we figured it'd be great to have the referee in charge of the game and talk a little bit about what goes on when you meet with the coaches before the game on the field.
Yeah, most of it is mechanical. We go down through a checklist of items that have to be checked out. The equipment has to be proper, approved. Look for taping, bandages, and a lot of other things I like to try and sneak in. But basically, it's just kind of how you doing, what kind of plays you're going to be running, so we have an idea where they're going to come from or what they're going to be doing. Get us prepared. We don't see them except for maybe once a season, and so we like to get some insight as to where they're coming from.
When you talk about plays, looking for a little trickery, so something that won't catch you off guard?
Exactly, and the coaches volunteer that because they have something in mind and they don't want the officials kind of defeating it by missing it. Many times it's kind of stretching the rule or getting right on the edge, and those are the things that we want to be aware of to everybody's benefit then.
Big ball game. It's not a regular season game. Let's face it, the Rutgers Cup is on the line for the winner. Do you prepare any differently for a championship game as opposed to a regular season contest?
Yeah, I scream at my guys a lot. This is important.
Is this the same crew you've worked with throughout the whole season?
Yeah, we have one man that's additional. He's a highly rated official also, and he's the fifth man back there. We have to adjust to play with him. But basically the guys are doing, I want them to do the same game they've done all year long. That's primarily what I have to keep them interested in. Don't get nervous. And it's so easy to.
Do you take a little bit more flack from the coaches in a game like this?
A little bit more. But usually most coaches, we allow them to get a little hyper. Otherwise, I don't think a coach is doing his job if he doesn't get into the game.
Nick, best of luck. It's a great day for football, and thanks for coming on and taking it from the referee standpoint.
Thank you.
Okay, Nick Warren's off. He's the referee in charge for today's game. Now stay tuned. It's going to be a great one. And Barry and Emerson will be back with the opening kickoff following this timeout. You watch High School Championship football on Cablevision.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
How expensive is your free checking? You're looking at checking that's really free. That's right. Here at Apple Bank, there are no check charges and no monthly fees, nothing. Plus, you get 5.25% interest on any balance over $700. So come in and get the free checking that you and your money deserve.
Apple Bank for Savings. We're good for you.
It's WBLI's $50,000 winning checkbook sweepstakes, and if one of these arrived in your mailbox, you're already entered to win. Hi, this is WBLI's Rick Summers reminding you to keep close tabs on your winning numbers. Make copies and give them to your friends and family or the people you work with, and be sure to be listening every weekday morning at 7:20 for your best chance to cash in with Long Island's #1 radio station.
Long Island's best music, WBLI.
I'll ask two of you to retreat,
We're back
please.
here at West Islip High School. Let's go down to the field, and the captain's meeting with the officials for the coin toss.
Mr. Burns will be the linesman today. Mr. Roos will be the umpire. Mr. Hines will be the field judge, and the back judge will be Mr. Cadudo. The clock gentleman back there will be official. We'll be monitoring it, but we want to keep that thing. You guys are citizens on penalty. #1. #2, important that you guys maintain your team's attitude. I don't want any business in this game. Important game, everybody. You guys take care of your people. We have to step in to be a mess. Gentlemen, we'll call you white, we'll call you blue. Somebody over here is going to call toss. You guys. You call there. It is heads. Blue has won the toss. Your choice, now, gentlemen. Blue has won the toss. Defend the North Cove. Turn your backs to us, please. Blue, won the toss. Select the two.
just about moments away from getting started. Well, Emerson Boozer, Sachem has revenge on their mind. They've lost 3 straight, twice last year, including the championship game here at this field almost a year ago to this very date. And they've lost 6 of their last 7 times that they've played against West Islip. So you know Freddie Fusaro wants this game probably more than he's ever wanted any other game in his brilliant 16-year career over there at Sachem.
You are absolutely correct, and I think more importantly, the ball players on the Sachem club, they're basically all seniors, Barry. They were the guys that were beaten by this Lions club of West Islip last year. So the juniors of last year now are seniors at Sachem. They're coming back with revenge in mind.
And they're an experienced ball club. They probably have more experience than the West Islip club. Of course, both teams lost outstanding players. From Sachem's very fine club last year, they lost several outstanding players, including the Hanson Award winner, Mark Wojciechowski, John Piero, the cornerback who's at Ithaca, Mike Matlack, the Owl County running back, and of course, Wojciechowski's up at the University of Massachusetts. From last year's ball club, the West Islip lost all Long Island tackle Mike Hayes, who's at Syracuse, an outstanding quarterback Peter Merridge at Western Connecticut, and wide receiver Bobby Anderson, who's up at Union College. So we're just about set to go, and we'll be having the kickoff coming here. Sachem will be kicking off, going from left to right, and doing the kicking off for the Sachem Flaming Arrows will be number 82, Jeff Strand. He's an outstanding wide receiver as well. And the deep men for West Islip, Prevesto, number 20, along with Berkey, 15. And we'll pick up the other deep men for you as well. Mike Capasso standing at the goal line. So the Conference 1 championship game just about seconds away from getting started. A rematch of last year's game. And it'll drift out of bounds as we have an inauspicious start to this game. But you know, emotions are going to be running high. And one of the things that Sachem does so well, Emerson Boozer, is run the football. And I think they're going to try to come right at him. West Islip will set up in a wide 6 defense, and we'll talk about that as we get to the line of scrimmage after the kickoff.
Sachem is not a passing ball club, but that bread and butter, the power plays from tackle to tackle.
So West Islip will get the football here. This time it'll be kicked from the 35-yard line. On the other hand, this West Islip offense, a very diversified offense. They have a triple option. They'll show a little bit of veer, and they're throwing more this year with George Wichelns at quarterback.
Wichelns can throw the football. He has a very strong arm. He's 43 of 78 this year for 759 yards and 6 TDs. I think the good part about it, too, he only had 4 interceptions throughout the year.
3 men deep as they boot it now from the 35. Prevesto will take it at around the 10-yard line. He's an excellent return man, and he crosses the 20 to the 25. Well, this West Islip club got themselves in a hole last week. Late in the first half, they trailed at halftime. They came up with 17 points in the 4th quarter to win the game. We'll set the offense for you for the West Islip Lions. Prevesto will be at the tailback spot. Starting at fullback will be Mike Capasso. The quarterback is George Wichelns. Billy Berkey will start as a wingback. And coming out as a wide receiver to the near side is Joe Malillo. They'll alternate wide receivers. Now they go in a slot left with Berkey lining up in a slot. They'll work out of the I formation. Wichelns, the quarterback, handing off to Prevesto. Prevesto feeling his way along the line. Now to be taken down as he crosses the 35 up to around the 37-yard line. As Sachem coming up with the defensive play. Fred Kemp moving in from the secondary. This West Islip club will throw the football. As you mentioned, Wichelns has thrown for 6 touchdowns this year. And last week, came up with some big plays. He was 7 for 14 for 85 yards against Brentwood. 2nd and 8. Again, they work out of the I. That's Berkey in motion. Handoff to Capasso, the fullback, and he stood up by that tough front line of Sachem, that 5'2", all-county nose guard. Frank Iacono, number 66, and Tony Gambino, number 65, the tackle. And those are 2 big guys at 230, Iacono and Gambino at 6'1", 205 pounds, an honorable mention all-league player. There's a look at the West Islip starting lineup, and you can see they're excellent players in their own right. In motion on 3rd down. Wichelns slipping, avoids a tackle, falls forward, and will be down at the 37-yard line. Way shy of the 1st down. Stopped by John Kelton, number 21, who came up from the secondary. One of the things that Sachem figured that last year Marriage, the quarterback for this very outstanding West Islip, he was a magician out there, got himself out of trouble throughout the game. They don't think that Wishelms has that running ability as last year Marriage had.
I would say they're absolutely correct. Wishelms just does not have the foot speed or the ability to elude would-be tacklers.
Here's the punt coming from Provesto, taken at the 35-yard line by Ralph Isernia, and good coverage on the punt. He only gets to the 37-yard line, where Sachem will put it in play 1st and 10.
That was a very fine hit and good pass coverage, or punt coverage rather, on that last play.
So the Sachem Flaming Arrows with quarterback John Walsh. There you see his stats. 25 for 56. Not a good percentage, but he's thrown for 7 touchdowns. The offensive line big and strong, and some excellent people in the skill positions in the backfield. Dave Shanahan starts at the tailback spot. They work out of the I. Joe Crespin is the fullback. As they send a man in motion, it goes to the tailback Shanahan, and Shanahan off the left side of the line picks up about 4 to about the 44-yard line. Bill Luke, number 84, making the tackle. And it'll set up a 2nd down play.
It's important here, Barry, for West Islip not to give up the kind of yardage that they just allowed. Sachem is known to be a running ball club. They want to run the football. And opening play here, they pick up 6. That is not good.
Let's call it about 2nd and 5. There you see the linebackers. They're good ones, and they're going to be tested. How about this wide 6? You almost invite them to run up the middle, don't you, on this defense?
Indeed you do. You want them to come in somewhat of a funnel with the 2 linebackers setting inside.
This time Shanahan met at the line of scrimmage, fell forward for about a yard or so, but was stopped. Nick Pizzo, number 55, the Old County nose guard. And there's the West Islip Brain Trust, Wayne Sherrod, the coach who took over for Jack Bradish. 6 years, a record of 44 wins, 10 losses, and 1 tie. And on the other side, Freddie Fusaro, 16 years, former Ithaca star. He coached at Hofstra for 4 years, played football at Huntington High School, and he's got a lot of friends in the area. So we go now on 3rd and 3 from the 47-yard line. Pro set in the backfield. The pitch coming to Provesto has the 1st down as he slams across midfield before he was stopped. Check it, Shanahan on the carry, and stopped by Chris Wallace, the free safety, number 43. So Dave Shanahan, the 5'11", 165-pound senior, who's rushed for 814 yards and 9 touchdowns this year. He's got 4.7 speed, but they say he's got excellent balance, cuts very well.
Good speed, too. We just saw what we call a toss sweep. He has the option of taking it inside off tackle or bouncing it outside. That time he took it inside.
Walsh has kept it on the ground. We'll keep it on the ground again. Provesto slammed down in the backfield as they came with a blitz, and making the big defensive play, Anthony Zito, number 33, and Bill Berkey, the linebacker, the All-County linebacker, number 15.
Look at this replay again. You see Berkey there. Watch off to the right of your screen. You'll see a flash. That'll be number 15. Bill Berkey right here. Bingo. Comes in, knocks Provesto off his feet.
What penetration.
Shanahan, rather.
Bill Berkey, many of the schools expecting him to go Division I. It's now a 2nd and long situation, 2nd and 15 from the 47. In the ball game right now is Wayne Wilson, number 20 at the running back. Working again out of the I. Walsh handing off to the big full tailback, and Shanahan stopped as he got maybe 2 yards. Stopped on the play by P.J. Feeney, who comes in when they go to a 5-3 instead of that basic wide 6. And Feeney, a 5'10", 175-pound junior, did a fine job last year when Berkey was out with a hip pointer filling in at linebacker, and did an excellent job against Brentwood. Hits hard for his size, and he hit pretty hard right there.
Indeed they do. Yeah, they're not that small inside, even though they look to be somewhat small, but at the tackle slots, Mindsling is about 5'9", 210 pounds. That's good weight. And at the other tackle slot, you've got O'Connell.
3rd and 13 now as they send a man in motion. In motion goes Comstock. Walsh to throw for the first time, looking for Comstock. He makes a fine catch out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. So dependable Gary Comstock, the man they use in 3rd down key situations, catches his 15th pass of the year. He's averaging about 14 yards every time he catches the ball, and he scored 3 touchdowns. Great hands and great routes, and he showed both there.
Let's take another look at this here. this is something that Sachem does not do too often, and that is throw the football. Many folk believe that Walsh cannot throw, but here he shows an excellent example of getting the ball out to Comstock. Let's take another look at it again. Nice throw. You watch him on the break here. Gary gets out. Ball goes over the defender, knows where he is. Just an outstanding completion and reception.
22-yard pickup. Ralph Isernia now in the ball game. The handoff going to the fullback, Joe Grespin. And Grespin slashes his way inside the 25 to around the 21-yard line, before he was stopped by Glenn Gerardo and Richie Carlson and Anthony Zito coming up to help out. So the big pass play for Sachem has given them excellent field position. Now both teams have excellent place kickers. Jeff Strand has kicked one field goal, 1 for 1 for 25 yards, as they've been using him there. And of course, Prevesto's an outstanding place kicker for West Islip. Out of the I formation now, they shift into a pro set. Walsh down low, handing off now, and carrying the football is Ralph Isernia, the all-county player, stopped by Jerry Rawl, the left defensive end, number 52. And Isernia, who has averaged 6.3 yards every time he's carried the football this year, returns punts, has tremendous vision, and he's given his club a first down here at the 15-yard line. M?
They are a tough club right now. The Flaming Arrows, they come at you with Shanahan, Isernia, Grespin. They used all three backs very effectively.
So Shanahan works in the backfield with Joe Grespin as they work out of the pro set. John Walsh at 5'9", getting down low, handing off to Shanahan, and he is close to the goal line, inside the 5-yard line. Jerry Rawl finally stopped him, the 5'9", 160-pound junior, but it's goal to go as Shanahan exploded once he hit that hole, Emerson.
And let's take another look at it here. As you'll see, Grespin off to the right gives him a good lead block, and that offensive line pushes him aside, and Shanahan just works his way almost to the goal line.
And he was stopped right there, but not before he picked up a big gain. So it's goal to go at the 1-yard line. At the 4-yard line, I beg your pardon, as Walsh barks out signals. Here's the pitch going to Shanahan, and he's down at the 3-yard line. Good gang tackling. Anthony Zito, number 33 over there, along with Chris Wallace, the free safety, number 43. He's a ferocious hitter, Wallace.
Also, number 15, Bill Burke, had a hold on to slow him down initially.
That defensive front line, Jerry Rawl, 52. Larry Neinsling, 66. Nick Pizzo, the all-county nose guard. Dave O'Connell, the other guard. Mike Matayunas, number 60. And Anthony Zito. They've got to hold him here. 2nd and goal from the 2. Again, they work out of the I formation this time. Handoff going to Shanahan, and he stopped. Berkey again got penetration in the backfield, along with Anthony Zito, and they stopped the play cold. Doug Parker also helping out, number 10 on the play.
Doug Parker was the force guy, as we'll see again here in our replay. Off to the right here, the quarterback, number 10, Parker, right in his vision there, comes up, makes the initial stop, and then come Bill Berkey, the 6'2", 205-pound linebacker, to polish him off.
3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. West Islip gives up points begrudgingly. They gave up 14 last week. One was on a fluke play at the end of the first half when two defenders deflected the ball, and a man scored. You can see it's 3rd and goal from the 1. Handoff going for the touchdown. Ralph Isernia, the 5'9", 175-pound senior, the second quickest player, a 2-year starter, hard-nosed, and he puts it in to give Sachem the early 6-0 lead, something they never did at all last year when they played this West Islip club.
And indeed they didn't, but strangely enough about this play too, against a 6'2" defense, they're running what you call a straight dive or straight handoff. That time the lineman got into the blocks, opened a gap, Isernia popped the gap into the score.
Jeff Strand to do the kicking. Walsh, the holder, the quarterback. He's 4 for 4 since taking over the kicking, and the left-footed kicker puts it through the uprights, and it is good. Sachem takes a 7-0 lead. Interesting enough, Jeff Strand was a soccer player and wanted to become a football player. He came out, the coach is a little skeptical, especially at a big school like Sachem, where they've got 5,000 kids to choose from. And anyway, he's won himself a job. He's an outstanding flanker. Let's take another look at that touchdown by Ralph Iserny.
Look at it again here. This is just basically a straight dive play, even though he's got a lead blocker with his fullback, but it's almost like a dive play in for the score. Nice blocking.
Number 63, Danny Civitanova with a good block. And Doug Pandolf also. So Sachem jumps in front 7-0. Early first quarter, 3:31 left in the first quarter. As the Flaming Arrows go 12 plays, 60 yards, almost 7 minutes. And that's what they want to do, keep the ball away from West Islip, Emerson.
Talked to Coach Fusaro, and those were his exact words, hoping that we can run the ball from tackle to tackle, not throwing it as much. That time, one pass got him a big first down, and they ate up 7 minutes off that clock.
The referees working today, Nick Warrensoff, the umpire Walter Roos, the head linesman Leo Burns, the line judge John Heinz, and the back judge Dom Scaduto. All the outstanding officials assigned to work this game by the section. So we're ready to go. Strand will be doing the kicking off here. Provesto is deep. Try to kick it away from Provesto, and they do to the far side. Fumbled over there by Mike Capazzo, picked up by the fullback, and he breaks into the secondary. One man to beat, and Strand got a piece of him, held him up. Otherwise, Capazzo might have made it across midfield. But an excellent return. Looked like it was really back at the goal line. Finally was stopped over there at the 35, 40-yard line.
I've seen that happen so many times. The ball appeared to be bobble or fumble. We'll watch it again in our replay here. Once that ball is bobble, the defense tends to relax a bit. That you cannot do. And Capazzo noticed that, saw the big gap up the middle, and almost went all the way.
We've got a new quarterback in the ball game right now, and he throws incomplete. We'll check out who the new quarterback is for West Islip. Well, with Shelns, I beg your pardon, has changed. We had him as listed as number 13, but he's wearing number 17. I beg your pardon. So with Shelns throwing incomplete, as a play will come in from the sideline with Joe Malillo. Let's go to Carl Reuter down on the field.
Barry, I had a chance to talk with Coach Freddie Fusaro before the game of Sachem, and I asked him if he could look back to August, was he pinpointing for this ball game? He said, you know, we knew we were going to be here. In fact, they've had that score of last year's game, 24-7. The players have talked about it a lot, and they were going to come out fired up, and you saw the touchdown early in the game. Barry?
Well, fired up was the Sachem defense. With Shelns wanted to go deep. He ran out of room right there, and the Sachem defense ran him down finally. Kevin Power, the all-county defensive end at 6'4", 205, making the stop. 12 plays, 60 yards, and Isernia capping that very effective drive. And, of course, the big play on that drive, and the pass thrown by John Walsh.
That caught the Lions of West Islip totally by surprise, because Walsh does not throw the ball that much, and Comstock came down with a key catch, a crucial catch that kept the drive alive.
Kevin Bauer, who has 3 sacks. You can see Sachem on the sideline over there, sending out some signals. Back to throw with Shells on 3rd and 16. Incomplete, nearly intercepted. Jim Hackett, the linebacker, had it in his hands. The pass was intended for Bill Berkey, and Hackett might have had the interception had he been able to hold on. He had a big interception last week against Lindenhurst. So it'll set up a punting situation as we look at that near interception again.
Look at it again here with Shelm, gets out, sets up beautifully, gets the ball down and almost threw the ball in the hands, or threw the ball into the hands of Hackett, and Hackett just could not hold on to it.
Ralph Iserny is the deep man back. The punt coming here by Wishells. Iserny will let it bounce as it bounces inside the 40. Not a particularly good kick, and it'll be down at around the 36, 37-yard line. So Sachem has the early lead here, and they've done the job defensively, stopping West Islip easily on each of their first 2 possessions.
That right now, West Islip has to mount some kind of offense. They appeared in that series to get away from the running game and go basically with a pass, and I think that's Coach Charant's theory, is to throw the football against this Flaming Arrow defense.
Well, they're unsuccessful so far. And now let's see what Sachem does. They ate up the clock for nearly 7 minutes the last time they had the football. Out over the ball comes center Mike DeCarlis, number 56. Flanked to the bottom of your picture is Gary Comstock, 1st and 10 from the 35. Again, they work out of the I formation. The handoff to the fullback, and Joe Brespin carrying for a good gain as he is stopped at the 40-yard line. Larry Neinsling, number 66. Making the stop. Neinsling, who has good speed, a smart 2-way player, runs spring track. 5'9", 210-pound fire plug. Now Sachem will make a substitution. Out of the ball game goes Joe Grespin, and Wayne Wilson, number 20, checks in at fullback.
Very crucial here, Barry. Sachem has come up on the last two series of the second series here, picking up 5 or 6 yards on that first down, making the second down much easier.
Good point, Em. Second down and about 5. Handoff to the tailback, and Shanahan, shy of the first down, brought down by Bill Berkey, the all-county linebacker, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Iowa. Some of the Division I schools interested in him. Has great speed. He's all over the field. Has a nose for the football as a defensive player. And has also done an outstanding job offensively. A couple of the coaches up there for Sachem, and they're on the headset, I'm sure, seeing things up there to send down below to Fred Fusaro. Big third down play coming up here. 3rd and 2. West Islip, the Lions have to stop him as we are under a minute to go in the first quarter. Comstock in motion. Pitch going to Shanahan. Has the first down as he crosses the midfield mark. Doug Parker, the right cornerback, finally ran him down. And Parker could not stop him before he picked up the first down. So let's look at the Shanahan first down run here.
Look at the blocking here as the ball toss sweep gets outside, and only Parker stopped that from going all the way.
Shanahan has excellent speed, 4.7 speed. Gained 240 yards against Ward Melville in one game this year. And of course, last week had 3 touchdowns against Lindenhurst, ran for 145 yards. Comstock again in motion. This time, Shanahan not going to find much running room as he falls forward. Steve Dorn, the right linebacker, number 81, key man on the stop, an all-league player who had 2 interceptions the last couple of weeks, been really coming on. Tenacious junior for this West Islip club. So it'll set up a 2nd and 7 as he picked up 3 on that play, and that should be the last play of the first quarter. Very fast first quarter with all the running plays, and that'll do it as the referee signals the end of the first quarter. So the Sachem Flaming Arrows have the lead 7-0, and we'll be right back. You're watching high school football on Cablevision. Jerry, costs are going up and up as far as college education is concerned. How's Apple Bank trying to help defray some of those costs?
We understand what's happening to educational costs, Barry, and at Apple Bank, we've devised a student loan program that helps the family budget.
How could people find out about this program?
All they need to do is to visit any one of our branches or call the student loan hotline number.
Apple Bank for Savings, with 5 convenient locations on Long Island.
Now here's your burger, and
sometimes breaks can give you a gentle hint that they need a little work.
Take it to Midas.
Over 4 million people have trusted their brakes to Midas. Good price, good guarantee. We won't break you.
Whoops.
Take it to Midas.
Whoops.
Take it to someone you trust.
We're back. Barry Landers and Emerson Boozer back at West Islip, where you can see Sachem dominating the yardage in the first quarter. 79 yards to -3. And that's what this Flaming Arrow defense can do to you. As Sachem is on the move here. 2nd down and 7 from the 46-yard line. Comstock in motion. And the pitch going this time to Isernia. And he's taken down. Berkey coming up with a big defensive play, and also coming up with a defensive play was number 66, Larry Ninesling. So they got good penetration in the backfield to break that play up for a loss. One of the few times they've had a loss, Sachem, today.
Both losses they've had, Berkey has been involved by shooting the gap as the guards are pulling. Berkey is recognizing the play right away and blitzing the gap.
Isernia leaves as Shanahan comes back in at the tailback spot. Passing situation here for Walsh. 3rd and 9 from the 48-yard line. In motion comes Gary Comstock. Handoff on the draw play, and Shanahan will be stopped. About 5 yards shy of the first down. P.J. Feeney, the sophomore, or actually the junior, playing in that 5-3, comes in as an extra linebacker, made the stop.
That was an outstanding play by P.J. Feeney because he was being blocked by the left guard, Dan Pandaloff, and he held on to make the stop.
So the punting situation here for Sachem. Brian Harvey will be doing the punting, 5'10" sophomore, who's only taken over the job recently up from the JV. He's done a good job, and he wobbles that one toward the far sideline. It'll bounce out of bounds inside the 25. It'll be 1st and 10 for West Islip. So the Lions did what they had to do, and that was to hold Sachem and get their football back. Now it's up to the offense to see if they can get on track with those -3 yards figure for the first quarter.
What we didn't have that time from the Flaming Arrows was the passing play. If you recall on that first drive for their first score, the big play there was a passing play to Comstock. This time they come down and they opted to run the football on 3rd down.
That was a 22-yard pass that helped set up the touchdown run. Now West Islip sends out Joe Melillo as a flanker to the right side. Berkey lines up as a wing to that side, and they send a man in motion, and the handoff going to Capasso as he goes inside for very little gain. Stopped by Gary Butel, 6'4", 240-pound senior, number 76. Division I schools very interested in this young man. He has 3 sacks, a leader, good size and quickness, and a 3-year starter for this Sachem club. Now Dave Camella comes into the ballgame, number 87. You see him in the corner of your picture. He'll bring the play in from the sideline. Bill Berkey playing with that hip pointer that he suffered last week on this field against Brentwood. 2nd and 9 from the 23-yard line. They have been unable to run the football against this club. Now they line up with a double wing, single setback. With Shelns to throw, complete to the far sideline. And it is going to be shy of the 1st down. Bill Berkey made the catch. Fred Kemp on the coverage. And check it was Brian Bowers, number 86 on the far side. Brian Bowers, who was an all-league player last year, an excellent blocker, an honor student. With his 13th reception of the year, he scored 1 touchdown and averaging almost 18 yards every time Mr. Bowers catches the football.
This is what West Islip is going to have to do. That time they opted to go to the tight end. They're going to have to nickel and dime them all day long. That is to give up the 5 to the 6 to 7 yard pass.
3rd and 2, Emerson. Berkey in motion. Pitch coming to Provesto. He can throw the football. Gets a block. He turns the corner. He's being chased down the sideline and finally out of bounds. Inside the 45-yard line as he was run out of bounds by Jim Crossan. Also chasing was Fred Kemp, but Provesto turned on the speed over there, and our cameraman almost got knocked down over there. We saw that elusive ability and the running ability of Joe Provesto. He's averaged 7.2 yards every time he's carried the ball.
That was a good-looking play as we watch again here as number 20, Joe Provesto, gets outside here of the Flaming Arrow defense, and it looked for a moment that he'd be off to the races, but finally headed off at the corner by number 10, Fred Kemp.
So Prevosto with the big run, and that's what they need, the big play. This West Islip club has come up with big plays all year. 28-yard gain for Prevosto, the all-county player with 4.65 speed. They'll bring it up here now for 1st down. And they'll work out of the double wing formation here. Capasso, the single setback, gets the call, and he busts up for a good hole. Pickup of around 6 or 7 yards before he was stopped by Kevin Bauer, number 83, the 6'4", 205-pound senior. Gary Butel also helping out on the stop. And here's a look at the fired-up West Islip huddle. And right now, they're starting to move the football.
The momentum has swung to West Islip. They have finally, with that long run by Provosto has gotten them under fire, I think.
Well, we may be mispronouncing his name, but it's not affecting him out there in the field. Provosto now getting a block. Can he turn it upfield? No, they strung the play out very nicely. Jimmy Hackett, number 55, the linebacker, one of the men in on the play. Looked like he had some blockers out there behind Capasso, but they could not run it upfield. And the play breaks down shy of the 1st down, where it'll be 3rd and about 2 or 3 yards to go. There's a look at Jimmy Hackett, number 55, 6'2", an 80-pound junior, who's had 20 solo tackles. His dad is a coach on this club, Steve Hackett, over there with Fred Fusaro on the far sidelines. It's going to be a real good one. He's only a junior. Power I formation on 3rd down and 2. Provosto trying to turn it outside, and he will not get it. Stop as they strung it out again. Kurt Jacoby, number 64, who is the captain who splits time at the linebacking as they go with a tandem. Jacoby and Hackett come in together. He's a 1AA or Division I prospect, and he's an outstanding football player. Kurt Jacoby, number 64.
Look at this again here as Provosto comes outside here. The key players here is number 21, John Kelton. He fought off a blocker to make sure that they didn't get outside of him that time.
4th and 1 at the 33. It's actually about 2. They're going to go for it. Again, working from the I formation. Handoff to Capasso, and I don't think he made it. Trying to go off the right side of the line. Stood up by Tony Gambino and Kevin Bauer.
Don't think he made it, Barry, not unless they get a favorable spot of the ball.
Sachem doesn't think he made it. They're pointing that they've got the ball. And let's see if the officials will bring the chains in. And I think they're just going to make sure, as the referee, Nick Warrensoff, will take time out for the measurement here.
Going to be very close, Barry, looking at it on second glance. Very, very close for the first down. The chains have not been moved as of yet. Here they are, on their way.
So as they bring the chains in, there's another big ball game taking place about 5 miles away from here over in East Islip today. Bayshore and East Islip for the Conference 2 championship. Well, Sachem was right. They've got the football. They stopped him. And the Arrows, the Flaming Arrows, take over with 7:39 to go. Remember, this West Islip club averages 4 touchdowns a ball game. Almost 28 points a ball game, and so far Sachem has shut him down.
Big play for the Sachem defense, that last play. It looks as though West Islip had the kind of steam they needed. They were moving the football extremely well and ran into a roadblock.
So the Flaming Arrows with 7:24 to go in the first half, leading 7-0, will put it in play. 1st and 10, up and around the 33-yard line. Quarterback is John Walsh, number 7. Handoff going to the fullback, and Crespin is taken down by Anthony Zito and Doug Parker, the right quarterback coming up from the secondary. Crespin runs hard. He's an excellent blocker. He and Wayne Wilson share the fullback spot. Has gained 125 yards and has scored a touchdown this year.
That was a fine tackle by Parker. The last play, he got under Crespin. Crespin is a pretty big boy. He's 6'1", 195 pounds, and Parker only goes about 160. He made an outstanding tackle.
Take a look at the stance of the quarterback. He's a little guy, John Walsh, 5'9". He gets real down low. Fake play action as he faked to Crespin, throws out to the flat, incomplete for Gary Comstock. And it'll set up a 3rd down play.
Gary just did not hold onto the football then. It appeared to have hit him right in the hands and just did not concentrate well enough on the football. Then we take a look at the quarterback, number 7, John Walsh.
What about him getting down low, Em? Anything special about the way he's taking the snap?
No, it isn't. Some quarterbacks and some coaches, they like some quarterbacks to get down. We're going to show the pressure here that West Islip put on Walsh here, just as he got the ball off. And there's a look at the stance that Barry Landis mentioned. He's really huddled under.
3rd down, fake. Now drop it off to Shanahan on a screen, and they broke it up beautifully as West Islip came up with the play. Bill Berkey over there, number 15. He's all over the field, as we said. No wonder why. He's a Division I prospect. He has 12 sacks this year, and he just has a nose for that football.
Again, Berkey recognized the play action, what was happening around him. He has a good sense of what's happening around on the field. He got out in the middle of that screen, pulled it down.
So Jeff Strand will be doing the kicking, and for Checkett Harvey will be doing the kicking. And he steps forward, and end-over-end kick comes down, bounces straight down, and will die at around the 41-yard line. So West Islip will get pretty good field position here, trailing by a score of 7-0, 5:44 to go here in the first half. Let's take a look at the standings between the Leagues 1 and League 2. Lindenhurst won the regular season, League 1, finishing 7-0, but lost, of course, to Sachem in the big playoff game last week. Brentwood 5-2. And over in League 2, West Islip undefeated. They've won 19 in a row over 2 years, 10-0 last year, and trying to make it another 10-0 season this year. 1st and 10 for West Islip. With Shelns to throw, batted down, incomplete by the big lineman over there for Sachem. Looked like Gary Butel at 6'4" got his hand on it. Let's go to Carl Reuter, who's on the sideline.
Thanks very much, Barry. You know, you're getting a look at a West Islip helmet, and you see the paw print on the helmet. And I looked around, and I found out that the paw print paw print represents the defense, and you get that put on your helmet when you make a great tackle, an interception, a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and so forth. The lion print is for the offense, a great run, scoring a touchdown, and I went over and you see the same thing on the Sachem sidelines. They have some imprints on the back of their helmet. They are giving out on Friday night. The team meets and they have a team meal where they gather and they look at the previous week's films, and they're giving out their awards for their helmets at that meeting. The same thing, incentive type thing, said Tom Sabatel, the athletic director at Sachem, and he said that they give them out, and it's an award for making a great play. So those are the symbols that you see on the back of the helmet. A little story behind it for both teams. Barry?
All right, Carl, and a couple of great plays right there. Kurt Jacoby and John Kelton coming up with big plays on Joe Provosto. It's 3rd and 20, now from the 31-yard line, and Wichel's dropping straight back. Stepping up in the pocket, may have to run the football, spins and will be stopped at the 31-yard line at the line of scrimmage. Again, Kurt Jacoby, the outstanding linebacker, the captain, who started a linebacker and then had to move to guard because the team needed him there, played 4 games there, came back to play defense, and Scott Pandolf and Al Simmons were doing such a good job at the linebacker spots that they had to set up another tandem with Jimmy Hackett and Kurt Jacoby playing the other tandem, and you can see why Jacoby is an outstanding player.
That's normally the theory, you move, you lose, but these guys didn't totally lose. They had tandem now.
This time, Wichel's will knock it downfield. Isernia will take the football, and good, again, special team coverage by West Islip as they come up with the football. Sachem will have it 1st and 10. Number 33 was one of the men in on that tackle, and that was Anthony Zito on the special teams. And let's take a look at the punt return, or attempted punt return.
The attempted punt return, as you can see here, Zito comes in, makes a big, strong hit.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Sachem as they put it in play, leading with 4 minutes to go. The official 4-minute warning for the first half, and this half has flown by. John Walsh working out of the I formation. Here is Shanahan, and slips as he tried to turn upfield, but he picked up about 4 before he went down. Covering on the play was Steve Dorn, and it'll set up a 2nd down play. So Dave Shanahan, who catches screens, he's the quickest back on the club, an all-county performer. He won this job after playing very little as a junior last year at Sachem. Just came in, worked very hard, has, as we said, tremendous vision. He wants the ball in the tight spots, Tim. You want a kid like that.
Indeed you do, especially if he's a ball carrier or a receiver. You want a guy that loves to take it under pressure.
2nd and 5 from the 43-yard line. This time getting the football, Wayne Wilson, and he's snowed under. West Islip coming up with a big 2nd down play. Dave O'Connell, number 63, who has a chip bone in his hand, made the stop. 5'8", 174-pounder, very strong, has excellent technique, excellent against the trap, and we saw that right there.
Also credit number 55, Nick Pizzo. He got inside to stop the ball carrier initially, and then bounced off a bit.
Well, Nick is rated, now flags go, and let's see, personal foul against West Islip. Ooh, something's going on down there, and that has to hurt. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's go to Carl Reuter down on the field.
Barry, it's interesting when you stand along the sidelines of the team that is trailing in the ball game, and that being the West Islip sidelines. Joe Provosto came off the last series and was visibly upset, as well as showing anger towards his teammates. He's walking right in front of me right now. He's very upset with the blocking that's going on. A couple of the players here yelling, pushing, and shoving, and frustration beginning to set in. It's a little early in the game to get down on yourselves, but WI, the Lions, are seeing that right now. Barry?
Frustration showing on that unsportsmanlike conduct. Here they are set with a big 3rd down and long yardage play, and now they get a 1st down out of it, and the football moved upfield to the 42-yard line. 1st and 10 at the West Islip 42-yard line for Sachem. 2:20 to go in the first half. Walsh to throw, slanted pattern incomplete. The intended receiver, Jeff Strand, number 82, and Glenn Gerardo, the left cornerback, number 32, was defending on the play.
Ball should have been caught by Strand. I don't know whether Strand can catch too well into traffic, but good coverage by Gerardo, number 32.
Don't knock soccer players, turn football players in. Jeff really was a pleasant surprise. He caught 4 passes for 46 yards last week in the Lindenhurst game. Now Ralph Isernia checks into the ball game. Out goes Dave Shanahan at the tailback spot. Clock stopped with 2:16 to go. Sachem with a 7-0 lead, late first half. Comstock as a flanker to the right. They've got a slot right formation. Handoff to Isernia, and as he gets 2, he's finally stopped at around the 40, as West Islip shut down the hole pretty quickly. Anthony Zito, the right end, coming up with a very quick play. He blitzes a lot. Lacrosse player Anthony has done a great job. 3rd and 7, let's call it. Clock shows 1:55, and it's moving. That was only the first penalty we had, Emerson Boozer, in this very well-played, clean game.
And that was only because they're playing at a feverish, emotional pitch. And right now, West Islip has felt the brunt of it.
Jeff Strand lines up as a flanker to the right. They'll work out of the eye. Comstock in motion. Fake. Walsh to throw deep, looking for Strand. He's got it. So he catches in traffic this time at the 27 or 8 yard line. Glenn Gerardo defending. It's good for the first down.
That time, number 82, Jeff Strand, made amends for the one that seemingly he dropped, but I'm not sure he dropped it. Let's watch it again here as Walsh under center, fakes a little toss, gets back and finds number 82, Jeff Strand, for the first down.
They're not using a timeout here, and the clock ticking away. 1:18 to go, 1:17.
I really don't think
they have their timeouts remaining. I don't think either club has used any. There's Fred Fusaro. Doesn't seem concerned at all right now as we hit the 1:05 mark. A lot of time wasted here getting up for this play. Walsh looking over that West Islip line. Now they're going to get called for a delay of game.
Now that was very costly, but I don't think that there was any need to go for a timeout there. You're sitting on top 7-0, and you want that clock to run once you got the lead.
But you also have a chance to go for 7 points here. You're only at the 35-yard line.
Indeed you do, but whenever you're in the catbird seat, you let it rock with the tune of 7-0.
I don't think too many people will expect this game to end up 7-0 with the West Islip offense, even though Sachem's defense is awesome. Be that as it may, it's 1st and 15 now. 59 seconds to go. The ball at the 32, and Walsh will throw to the sideline. Diving catch, incomplete. Attempted catch by Gary Comstock, and it fell incomplete, stopping the clock with 55 seconds to go.
Now here's a case, Barry. Number 32, Glenn Gerardo, made a cardinal mistake. Once the receiver gets off the line, you've got to pick up your quarterback. Run with the receiver, but see the quarterback. Had he seen the quarterback, would have been interception.
West Islip makes some changes in the secondary right now, and we'll pick it up for you. Number 42 is checked into the lineup. That's P.J. Feeney. He'll play as a linebacker. Walsh is 3 for 6 for 31 yards so far today. Chris Wallace lining up as a defender to the near side. 2nd and 15 from the 32. Play action. Walsh looking deep to the end zone, and it's going to be caught for a touchdown. Gary Comstock with a sensational reception, and it's 13-0. Sachem with 46 seconds to go.
Who said this kid Walsh could not throw?
Well, we talked about the great hands of Gary Comstock. Doesn't have the speed of Jeff Strand. He's a baseball and basketball player. They told us he was a possession-type receiver, but great hands and runs a great pattern.
Let's watch it again as Walsh fakes play action, sets up. He looks for number 16, Gary Comstock, throws a beautifully thrown ball here over the defenders, right into the outstretched arms of number 16, Gary Comstock, for the score.
He beat Glenn Gerardo, and that was one concern. It's an inexperienced secondary. Gerardo's a junior, Wallace is a junior, and Park is a senior. Strand to try the extra point. It's up. It looks good, and it is good. So the Flaming Arrows take a 14-0 lead with 46 seconds left in the first half. And the West Islip Lions have their hands full in trying to come back here at home.
Indeed they do, and that shows basically what has happened. As you see Coach Wayne Sharon toiling the sideline over there, trying to arouse his ball players to come back. They need to get 3 or 7 points here on the board. If not, we'll wait until the second half.
So John Walsh coming up with the big play, similar to last weekend when we did the Bayshore game against Deer Park. The Deer Park quarterback had all the press, Migliosi as being the outstanding passer. And what does Bayshore do? They throw the ball only 4 times, and they get 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns out of 4 passes.
That's going to be some game today, Bayshore and East Islip. And I'll tell you, should West Islip lose this game, East Islip might be the team to receive the Rutgers Cup. They were ranked higher in the state poll, #1. West Islip was ranked #2. So that could be very interesting to see what comes out the rest of the week. Here we see the deep men back. That's Prevosto. And boy, they need a big return here from this guy, as he has been held pretty much in check. Strand will be doing the kicking here. He has kicked 2 extra points. 46 seconds to go. He knocks it downfield away, of course, from Prevosto. Picked up by an up lineman. And at the 35-yard line, or 34, he's snowed under. And it'll be 1st and 10 for West Islip. As the clock now ticks with 42 seconds left, it stopped as they'll mark the chains. Well, let's see if West Islip can take a page out of last week. What happened to them when Brentwood scored a touchdown on the closing play when 2 defenders collided. There you see the scoring play. 7 plays, 62 yards, 3 minutes, 19 seconds. And the Strand to Comstock to Strand touchdown pass. Fumbled by Prevosto, pitches back to the quarterback, and Wichel's in trouble, and they will be down for a loss of about 5. Jim Hackett on the play, but pretty alert by Prevosto to get the ball back to the quarterback, but Wichel's a little surprised, couldn't find anybody open. He had Bill Berkey way downfield. But with now 10 seconds, 9 seconds, this will be the final play. I don't even think they're going to get a play off here.
Barry, you should have seen what happened to Berkey. He was flattened by number 21, John Kelton.
And that'll be it. They don't call timeout. They just let the clock run out. A very frustrated West Islip club leaves the field. As Carl Reuter pointed out, they were down at halftime last week. The Brentwood came back with a big 4th quarter, and they're trailing by 14 as they head to the locker room now.
They are down at this point, but certainly Coach Charant will take them inside and try to settle them down. You don't want to see your ball club show that frustration and anger on the ball field.
So Sachem, who had lost 6 of the previous 7 games to West Islip, 3 in a row, seeking their revenge, and so far, after 24 minutes, they are leading 14-0. Carl Reuter returns with his halftime guest. You're watching exciting championship football on Cablevision.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
It's WBLI's $50,000 winning checkbook sweepstakes, and if one of these arrived in your mailbox, you're already entered to win. Hi, this is WBLI's Rick Summers reminding you to keep close tabs on your winning numbers. Make copies and give them to your friends and family or the people you work with, and be sure to be listening every weekday morning at 7:20 for your best chance to cash in with Long Island's #1 radio station.
Long Island's best music, WBLI.
Jerry, here's a free pass to our next game.
Thanks, Barry, and here's something free for you, a free Apple Bank checking account.
Free?
Absolutely free. No monthly maintenance charges, no per check charges, nothing.
I can write all the checks I want at no cost?
The only charge you'll get is out of Apple Bank's fine service, and we'll pay you 5.25% interest on balances of $700 or more.
Apple Bank for savings. We're good for you.
It's halftime here at West Islip High School. I'm Carl Reuter, where West Islip trails in the ball game by a score of 14-0 to Sachem. And with me is Don McAtee. He's the director of National Child Watch. And Don, you've got a bunch of people here. Big charity football game coming up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? Introduce the players that are with you.
Okay, Carl. We have a game. It's called the New York, New Jersey Football Classic. It'll be held at C.W. Post College on December 13th at 1:30 p.m. The game would be played between former college and former pro standouts from New York versus a team of equal caliber from New Jersey. The proceeds from the game will benefit the National Child Watch Fellowship, which is an organization for the safety and welfare of all children, and we're working to provide funds for children with AIDS. and also the Billy Rideout Memorial Scholarship Fund. Billy was the Central Islip player who recently passed away on November 10th. So.
All right, let's go around here and start and introduce who you brought down with you.
All right, Carl. We have here from Hillsdale College, NAIA All-Conference tight end Frank Romano. He played for Seaford High School, and he tried out with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
We have Jim Normally. He's from Hicksville High School, and he's playing semi-pro now for the Long Island Raiders. We have Tony Reeder. He played for Lindenhurst High School and C.W. Post College. We have former Westbury wide receiver and Kansas City wide receiver from the Chiefs, Jerry Butler. He's an All-American also from Nicholls State. And we have from the South Carolina Gamecocks, formerly of Patchogue Medford High School. He was signed with the Miami Dolphins this year as a punter, and his name is Sammy O'Connor.
Let me go around here. Let me try to get a couple of the fellows in here. Gerald Butler, you had life in the NFL. I know that's a great experience, but coming and playing a game like this, how do you feel about that?
Well, Carl, I'm very honored to be a part of this game because to be able to help someone out that I know is a good feeling, but just the thought of being able to help someone out that I don't know and the fact that they're children, it's touching. It's very touching.
Is it something, it's something that you do, but it's something that a person doesn't like to do?
Well, I participated in 2 All-Star games that benefited the Crippled Children's Hospital when I was a senior in college. And we visited the hospitals, and it gave us a lot of inspiration to be there with the kids and to see just how much they appreciated us doing it. So, you know, I think it's a pleasure, and to be a part of it with such quality athletes helps out a lot, too.
Let me bring in the guy next to you, to your right, Tommy O'Connor. Played over at South Carolina, you were the punter, signed with the Dolphins. What was it like the first time you inked that first contract?
Oh, it was a big experience for me. It was kind of scary at first when I first went down there. When I got adjusted to it, the guys treated me really well, and it was a good experience for me. And Don Shula is a really great coach, and I wish him a lot of luck this year.
Well, you didn't make it this year. Chances for next year? What's going on right now, Tom?
Oh, I'm playing this game to keep my timing down, my experience, and hopefully I'll get signed with somebody next year. If not, I'll just keep trying until I make it, and then if I don't make it, then I'll know it's time to quit. But I'm not going to quit right away.
Well, we wish you best of luck getting back in there. I want to go back down here. I got a bunch of guys I could talk to here today. Don, how'd you get involved with this in the charity game?
Well, what we wanted to do is raise the funds. The Long Island Association for AIDS in Huntington Station. Some of our board members, we have Senator Alphonse D'Amato, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan, Congressman Tom Downey, Assemblyman Patrick Halpern, Assemblyman Gaffney. We go on forever with the politicians involved with us. But we felt it would be a worthy cause to get the game going. And Long Island is such a football crazy area. And same with New Jersey, and a lot of caliber ball players here.
Where can people find out about obtaining tickets to this charitable event?
The tickets will be on sale at a discount rate for $4 at the Nassau All-Star Game at Post on the 6th. The day of the game, the tickets will be going for $6 at the gate, and all children 12 and under, the tickets will go for $2 each.
Don, thanks very much. It's a great thing that you're involved with. I appreciate you coming by and talking with us. And gentlemen, I don't want to turn my back to the camera, but I might have to. Gentlemen, best of luck to all of you. Thanks for coming by and speaking about the event. Okay, you've got it down here on the field. We're going to be back with some more halftime activities following this timeout. Stay tuned. You're watching high school championship football on Cablevision.
Jerry McDougall, I understand that Apple Bank offers the lowest rate in credit cards.
Yes, Barry, our 15.8% is the lowest Visa card rate in the New York metropolitan area.
Any other features, Jerry?
Many, Barry. For example, we offer Visa checks free of charge, and the $20 annual fee is deferred until first use of your card. Many banks charge as much as 19 to 20%, but at Apple Bank, you enjoy a world of credit at down-to-earth rates.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
When you give blood, you help people fight for their lives. Be a card-carrying member of the human race. Be a blood donor. Call the Greater New York Blood Program.
Back here at West Islip High School, I'm Carl Reuter with Tom Sabatel, and Tom is the athletic director at Sachem High School. And Tom, today it's a year ago today. The sun is shining today. Last year it was rainy and cold, and the weather was bad, and you were trailing at halftime. Today it's sunny and bright, and you're leading 14-0. Quite a turnaround.
Must be the sunshine.
Is that what it is? All the fans you brought over from Sachem. What was the big difference? What do you feel?
Well, basic difference between the game this year and last year is that predominance of our team is seniors. They're a very talented group. We came in last year and played a very senior experienced team from West Islip. And while both teams have fine programs and lots of talent, it still takes basically a senior group for the experience and the leadership, and I think we see it reflected out here today.
You know, I talked to Fred Fusaro before the game, and he said that he kind of had that feeling that back in August when practice started that you might meet here today, and the kids remembered last year scoring, being with the seniors, being juniors last year. They really wanted to come back because, let's face it, the Rutgers Cup is on the line, the winner of today's game.
Yeah, there's always a possibility. Of course, that's up for vote by the Suffolk County Football Coaches Association, and you never know how it goes. But I don't think that's the prime reason for winning this game. I think the kids have a lot of pride in their program, a lot of pride in themselves, and they play for the enjoyment of it. And,
Tom, your feelings on a Long Island championship in football. Why don't we see it? Why will we see a Sachem or a West Islip play a Hempstead or a Garden City? Will it ever come about?
I hope so eventually. I think what it's going to take is perhaps a little earlier start in football for preseason. Perhaps, too, scheduling the games a little bit earlier, the start of the season. You could finish up on Thanksgiving weekend and play 11 games. The calendar is a little tricky year in and year out. But I think it's an eventual possibility. I'd like to see it happen.
Jack Bradish is coming in, and we're going to get a chance to talk with Jack. He's the athletic director here at West Islip and former coach. You miss the sidelines, Jack?
Yeah, a little bit from time to time. I don't miss it too much right now that we're down, but we're hopeful that the kids will come back. It's a great game, and we got a great crowd here, so I'll hope things will turn out okay.
You mentioned the crowd. Sachem's got a lot of people here. Your stands are packed. Talk about the community. Has it always been like this for West Islip?
Yeah, they really have. They've supported our programs here in football and all our athletic programs for many, many years. And we've got about 6,000 people here this afternoon. And, you know, as I said, they really have supported our programs to the nth degree, you know, ever since I've been here, and that's 26 years.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I don't want you to do any second guessing, but go back, put your coach's cap back on. You're trailing 14-0. What would you do differently in the second half? What did you see in the first half that Wayne might be talking to about with the boys in the locker room?
Well, I think that they came out strong and they started to run the ball at us very well. They completed the long pass on their touchdown drive, which gave them some impetus, and they finally scored off of it. Sachem's throwing the ball, I think, a little bit more than we anticipated, and I think for West Islip to get back into the game that they're going to have to put the ball up in the air a little bit.
Gentlemen, I thank you both for coming by. Two fine athletic directors, two great football powers here in Suffolk County. Best of luck to whomever might win this football game.
Thanks
Tom Sabatel and Jack Bradish have been my guests. Now Barry and Emerson will be back with all the second half action following this timeout. You're watching high school championship football on Cablevision.
How expensive is your free checking? You're looking at checking that's really free. That's right. Here at Apple Bank, there are no check charges and no monthly fees, nothing. Plus, you get 5.25% interest on any balance over $700. So come in and get the free checking that you and your money deserve.
Apple Bank for Savings. We're good for you.
There's a disease in this country called child abuse. It can take a young child and turn him into a hardened criminal. But fortunately, there is a cure. It's called Boys Hope. Boys Hope is a program that takes abused boys and gives them love and attention in a home environment. so they can wind up posing for graduation pictures instead of mugshots. Boys Hope, we need your help, because where there's hope, there's life.
America, we now have a new national treasure, one that symbolizes our people and our achievements. The intrepid Sea Air Space Museum. She's the other lady in the harbor who opened her decks to all our boys in the Pacific and the Atlantic. She was the mighty floating part of America that welcomed her Mercury and Gemini astronauts home. So come to Manhattan and West 46th Street and the Hudson River. Step back in history and leap forward into the future.
We're back, Barry Landers, along with Emerson Boozer. And Emerson, the statistics for the first half reveal how one-sided this game has been. Sachem in command, leading 14-0. And you look at the team statistics, they will tell the story right here, as Sachem has done it all as far as the team statistics are concerned. They have 7 first downs to West Islip's 1. They've rushed 69 yards to 27 for West Islip. They've passed 63 yards to only 7 for West Islip. Total yards, 132 for Sachem, only 34 for West Islip. Penalties, a big one to West Islip, and that helped the touchdown drive, the second touchdown. Time of possession, Sachem had nearly 16 minutes to about 8 minutes for West Islip.
Time of possession is the key here. Coach Freddie Fusaro wanted to keep the ball away from West Islip, that he did.
West Islip kicking off. This is Isernia, and he will be stopped as he crosses the 20 up to around the 23-yard line. Defensively, they're going to have to make some big plays right here. Steve Dorn was the man on the stop. And as far as individual statistics for Walsh, the quarterback for Sachem, he was 4 for 7 for 63 yards in that big touchdown pass. Shanahan carried the ball 12 times for 41 yards. Grespin 3 times for 18. Isernia 5 for 10. Comstock with 2 receptions for 54 yards. And Strand 1 for 12. And of course, Comstock, that big touchdown pass. So Sachem with the football. They'll work out of the I formation, leading 14-0. Turnovers were a key problem last year. They haven't turned the football over yet. Yet they may turn it over here. But an alert play by Joe Grespin to come up with a football after it was fumbled. Doug Parker on the stop. So that could have been the very big turnover to give West Islip excellent possession and field position.
Joe Grespin had an excellent hold that time. Looks as though he was going to break that for a long gainer. And all of a sudden he bumped one of the defenders. Ball bounced out, but alertly he recovered.
7-yard pickup, so it's 2nd and 3. As Wayne Wilson is checked into the ball game at fullback for Joe Grespin. That's one of the things that West Islip was able to take advantage of last week against Brentwood. They played most of their guys 2 ways. Brentwood wore down in the second half, but this Sachem club uses just about a single unit on offense and defense. Flag goes down before the ball went off, and we may have a delay of game, the second one against Sachem. Then we go back to that second touchdown drive, the one penalty against West Islip. That unsportsmanlike conduct could be a turning point in this game, because it would have been a 3rd and about 9 situation on the 15-yard penalty. West Islip saw Sachem get a first down, and then of course they scored on the touchdown pass shortly thereafter.
You say could be a turning point. I think it is a turning point. 3rd and 5 with the situation. Come up with an unsportsmanlike conduct, getting the first down, keeping the drive alive. They could have forced them into a punt there. We would have had a 7-0 ball game at halftime. 2nd
and 8 after the 5-yard walk-off. Flanker to the top of your picture is Jeff Strand. Comstock lines up on that same side. Pro set in the backfield. And the handoff going to Shanahan, and he doesn't get much, maybe to around the 33-yard line. And he stopped, check it was Isernia on the carry. Steve Dorn moving up from the linebacker spot to stop him. It'll set up a 3rd and long play. As you see, one of the injured West Islip players on the sideline. And he's got his right foot damaged over there. I believe that is the West Islip offensive tackle who got hurt. That's his cast painted. That's Brett Parade, who broke his leg playing volleyball, the starting offensive tackle.
I wonder who did the artwork on that cast, Barry.
Big 3rd down play here, 3rd and 6 from the 32. Fake. Walsh to throw under pressure, screens it off to Isernia, Shanahan rather, and he's driven out of bounds. Shanahan with good pursuit by the left defensive end, Jerry Roll, who had been beaten earlier on a play. Rollo splits time with Billy Luke at that left defensive end. Made a good play as he strung it out, and they weren't fooled on that one.
Look at it again here as Walsh fakes the pitch out, gets pressure here, kicks the ball outside on the screen to Shanahan. Berkey along with Rawl, come up to make the stop.
So it'll be a punting situation here. Brian Harvey to do the punting, standing back at around the 20-yard line. Steps forward, no rush. Prevosto calling for a fair catch, and they'll have good field position at the 36-yard line. So the West Islip defense doing what they had to do. That stops Sachem, and now let's see if the offense comes up and can come up with some big plays here.
Okay, it looks as though Coach Sharon has gone inside and settled his defensive unit down, and let's see if he put a little pep into this offense.
Individually for West Islip, not much in that first half. With Shelms there, a fine quarterback, just 1 for 4 for 7 yards. Prevosto was held for just 21 yards and 5 carries. Capasso 3 times he ran for 9 yards. And Bowers the only reception for 7 yards. Fake. The quarterback will keep. With Shelms has about 6 yards before he is tripped up by Freddie Kemp coming up from the free safety spot. You know, it's interesting to note that the all-league outstanding performer at strong safety, Paul Engelhardt, we haven't mentioned his name yet. He's a 2-year starter, has 3 interceptions, one of the leaders in tackles, and he hasn't been involved too much in the defense so far. But nevertheless, Sachem is doing an outstanding defensive job.
West Islip has gone back to their wishbone attack, and I think this is the running attack that they're going to have to use.
Capasso, short gain, maybe a yard or 2 before he's brought down by the nose guard in the 5-2 defense, Frank Iacono. You know, it's interesting to note, and I know that Fred Frizaro wanted me specifically to make this point. Frank is a very severe asthmatic, and despite that handicap, he has turned into an all-county player, a Division I AA prospect. Holy Cross Lehigh's an excellent student, and he's able to overcome that handicap, and that may speak well to other youngsters who suffer from asthma.
I played ball with an outstanding tackle that had asthma, Wishart Hill, number 75 of the Jets.
On a big third down play, the draw play, and carrying the football, Prevosto. Looks like he has the first down, not by much, but Tony Giambino finally tripped him up. But Prevosto, an excellent runner, can stop on a dime. Really, he was angry, as Carl Reuters said in the first half, with the blocking by some of his teammates, and he's a fierce competitor, Joe Prevosto.
That you don't want to do, though, Barry. You don't want to upset the apple cart when you're in heat of battle. I can see you being a little bit concerned and talking about it in a monotone or a quiet voice, but you don't want to go screaming at men in battle.
We'll take a look and see if he made it. We believe he did make it. They'll stretch the chains, and he's got it by plenty. Let's take a look at the poll. The New York State Sports Writers polled Hempstead #1, and with the victory the other day, the game we televised, I'm sure they're going to stay there. East Islip #5, West Islip #6. Garden City with a big win last night. They blasted West Hempstead 41-17. Pete Case with 5 touchdowns and 270 yards rushing in that one. Here's Berkey on the end around, and he is going to be taken down. Excellent defensive play. John Kelton, the quarterback, not fooled, came up quickly and stopped that play cold, as their wide plays have simply not worked today.
Key man, too, the right defensive end, or left defensive end, number 83, Kevin Bauer. He's strung it out long enough to allow Kelton, number 21, to come up and polish off Berkey.
2nd and 11. Berkey is an outstanding runner. Has rushed the football for 127 yards and 5 touchdowns out of that wingback spot. Now with Shelms calling signals as they work from the eye. Berkey in motion. Play action, looking deep, throwing now off to the backfield, complete to Capasso, and Capasso has about 5 yards, a little bit still shy of the first down. Jimmy Hackett, the linebacker, number 55 on the stop.
I get the feeling, Barry, that this club will explode if they keep throwing the football, along with running it from the wishbone attack.
Well, with Shelms was 43 for 78, about a 65% completion average. He was 7 for 14 last week for 85 yards against Brentwood, and they're a big second half club last week. And they're here on their home field. 3rd and 5 from the 48-yard line as they work again from the eye. Berkey in motion. The handoff to the fullback, and Capasso goes nowhere, shy of the first down. Kevin Bauer, the tenacious, rangy end, with a good stop, and it'll set up a punting situation. So they didn't go to the air, they went to the fullback. And he's unable to pick up the first down, as it'll be about 4th and 4 from the 47-yard line. 7:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Sachem leading by a score of 14-0. Cernier is the single man back to take the kick. Joe Prevosto will be doing the punting. Steps forward, line drives it. Isernia will watch it bounce. Will he attempt to pick it up? No, it's going to be dead. And a good kick inside the 15, inside the 10, and around the 7 or 8 yard line. So it's up to the West Islip defense now to keep them there and get that football back for the offense that has been unable to move the football effectively against Sachem.
You wonder that might have been the kind of kick that Isernia might have tried to get under with a fair catch to not allow that roll inside your 10. But they have got the lead by 14 points, and I'm sure that was at mine when the ball hit the ground.
What they don't want to do is fumble the football in this situation. Thanks to our spotters doing an excellent job. Danny McKenna, fine soccer player here at West Islip and a communications major. He's a senior. Dick Westerveld doing the statistical work and spotting for Sachem. Handoff going to Shanahan, and he is tripped up behind the line by Dave O'Connell and Nick Pizzo, number 63 and number 55, who play in the interior line in that wide 6 defense.
Very aggressive play by number 55 Pizzo, number 63 O'Connell. Watch it again here. You'll see both tackles here shoot the gap inside. There's number 63 O'Connell coming in, making the hit, followed up by number 55 Nick Pizzo.
6:05 to go, third quarter. 2nd and 11. Walsh calling signals. Sends Comstock in motion. And a handoff again to the tailback, and Shanahan gets across the 10, maybe to around the 11, before he's brought down by Nick Pizzo again, who's the leader in sacks with 10 on that tough West Islip defense. All-county performer, their best lineman at 5'10", 190, real quick.
Okay, Barry, this is a crucial third down play here. If West Islip can hold them here, not give up the first down, they should get the football in excellent field position.
It's about 3rd and 6, let's call it, or 3rd and 7 from the 11-yard line. 5:20 to go, third quarter. Strand lines up as a flanker to the right side. Also on the right side as a flanker is Comstock. And this is Shanahan. He'll not make the first down. Maybe gets a yard, and that's it. So the West Islip defense on 2 successive series have done the job here, and they should get excellent field position with this punt coming from around the goal line. 4:50 left, third quarter. Barry Landers, Emerson Boozer in our Suffolk County Championship game. And we'd like to congratulate Hempstead for the big win over Long Beach, Garden City in the Nassau County Conference 2 Championship with a walloping victory over West Hempstead. Elmont is playing Lindbrook today and Locust Valley against East Rockaway. Here's the punt upfield by Hardy, bouncing at near midfield, and it takes a bounce across midfield down to around the 47-yard line, where the Lions will get it 1st and 10, trailing 14-0.
Very good field position for the Lions of West Islip. Now the offense has to do something with it. The defense has stood very strong, not allowing a first down to the Flaming Arrows, and now turned it over to the offense. So let's go, fellas.
Well, as you can see, total plays, Sachem with 10 more than West Islip, but they've had the ball control and the possession certainly throughout the first half. West Islip will put it in play. However, there appears to be a flag on the play. They're talking things over with Bill Berkey, and I think they may do it over again. So they're going to re-kick the punt. They had good field possession here, but I guess they want another try. Personal foul. And they're going to mark the football from the line of scrimmage, half the distance to the goal line.
If it works well here, Barry, they should come out right around the 50-yard line or 45-yard line. I think it's a plus for West Islip.
Holding is the call. You don't see that too often on a punt, but that is the call. So the youngster will try to kick it again here for Sachem. Brian Harvey, an inexperienced kicker, a transfer from Baldwin High School, standing in the end zone now. Let's see if West Islip, they've got a 10-man front, see if they'll try for a block here. They do not. They've got a return set up here. Provosto this time will take it at around the 40 and is not going to go anywhere, but they pick up about 10 or 12 yards on that one, and they'll get the ball at the 37-yard line. Let's take a look at the Suffolk Sports Writers poll in Suffolk County here. East Islip ranked number 1, West Islip 2. This fine Sachem Club number 3, Bayshore 4, Lindenhurst 5, and rounding out the top 10, Deer Park, Bellport, Brentwood, Comstock, and Sayville. So certainly the Rutgers Cup on the line today, and let's figure the scenario. Should East Islip lose today to Bayshore, they're undefeated, as we'll pick that up in a moment. Wishel's throwing nearly intercepted, right in and out of the hands of the defender over there, and that was Jim Crossan, number 11, as he drilled that football. Crossan, who's the nickelback, just couldn't hold on to it. The intended receiver was Brian Bowers. Let's get back to that point, Em. Should East Islip lose to Bayshore today, Sachem very likely could be the Rutgers Cup champ if they win today.
That is a possibility pending East Islip.
Bayshore has 2 losses. East Islip would have had a loss, and of course they would have been knocking off a previously undefeated team, this West Islip club. A lot riding on this game. Wishel's under pressure, will throw to the sideline. Man was wide open out there, just couldn't get it to the intended receiver over there. And let's go to the sidelines to Carl Reuter.
Thanks very much, Barry. Down here with Marianne Berkey, the mother of Bill, and very proud mother, very pretty mother. A little nervous right now?
Thank you, Carl. I guess you could say that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Butterflies.
Butterflies, 14-0. They score about a 28 points a game, and they haven't gotten on the board yet.
We're not finished. It's not over.
Finished. It's not over. Who said that?
Yogi Bear.
Really?
Yes.
Now, Billy's got some family here. You flew up his grandmother from Florida?
I'm from Daytona, Florida.
From Daytona, Florida. And what's your name?
Catherine Turk.
You proud of your grandson?
I sure am.
It's a lot more cold here than down in Florida, huh?
It was 87 degrees when I left.
Well, ladies, I thank both of you for coming on, and we're going to see if you root real hard. Maybe WI will come out on top.
You got it right. You got it.
Thank you very much, Marianne.
Welcome,
Barry, let's go back over to you.
Joe Provosto, the intended receiver on that play, and previously Dave Camello was open, and the quarterback George Wishel's having trouble getting the football out to his men. Wishel's now 2 for 8 for only 13 yards in this game. It's 4th and 10, and they're going to go for it here at the 37-yard line.
Well, Sheldon's going to have to settle down. He's got receivers open. He's just going to have to take his time and deliver the football.
Had a little bit of pressure that time. Now Berkey in motion. Back to throw, has time, throwing, and it's batted down at the line. Looked like Tony Gambino was the man who knocked it down. And George Wishel's frustrated, will head to the sidelines here. Also, Kevin Bauer at 6'4" was putting pressure on up the middle. Big number 83.
Let's see, can we see what happened here as you look right straight down the middle. The big hand of number 76 gets up Gary Butel.
All right.
Block the ball.
So it was Gary Butel, but when you got guys at 6'4" like Butel and Frank Iacono at 6'2" and Kevin Bauer at 6'4", that's a tremendous front to try to throw over when you're only 6 foot.
Slightly over Mount Everest.
So Sachem taking over. 1st and 10 at their own 37. 3:42 to go, 3rd quarter. Handoff going to the fullback, Joe Grespin, and he gets maybe a yard to the 39-yard line. Met by Bill Luke, number 84, the defensive end. Very dependable kid. So West Islip unable to convert on the good field position. And Sachem now, if they can eat up the clock here and get a good drive going, they could almost put this game away here.
It was imperative for West Islip to get a drive, mount a drive, and a score at that point. We're down to the 3-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter.
2nd and 7. Walsh working out of the eye. Fakes to the fullback, gives to the tailback, and Shanahan dives to around the 35, make it the 40-yard line. And he's stopped by Frank Oliveri. Let's check that. Make it to the 45-yard line.
It's going to be a long 4.
It'll be 2nd and 3. Make it 3rd and 3 from the 44. Another big down, 3rd down play. As Wayne Wilson leaves the ball game, Joe Grespin comes back in. Gary Comstack will line up as a flanker to the left. Now they send a man in motion. Handoff going, and they stop it as the fullback got the call, Joe Grespin. And West Islip's defense comes up with a big play. Steve Dorn, number 81, the right side linebacker. Well, you can't ask more than West Islip's defense is doing here. They've stopped Sachem without a 1st down each of the 3 possessions here in the 3rd quarter.
West Islip defense has risen to the occasion, playing extremely strong, and it's left to the offense now to get things rolling.
10-man front now. Let's see if they try to block this kick with the young guy, Brian Harvey. They come this time, but he'll get it away. Provosto watches it sail to the far side. It'll take a good bounce for West Islip, and they'll get the ball across the 35-yard line, and they'll make it at the 31-yard line. So with 1:50 to go, West Islip again takes over, and it's almost imperative that they do something on this possession.
They're going to have to throw the football. they have had receivers open, and George Westland just has not gotten the ball there.
Wishelds now will send out a flanker to the near side. Joe Malillo, number 80, slot to the near side with Berkey in the slot. Comes back in motion, Berkey. Wishelds under pressure, screens it off to Provosto. Provosto taken down at the line of scrimmage on a big defensive play for the Sachem Flaming Arrows. Ralph Isernia, the all-county cornerback, who had 3 interceptions, 7 knockdowns, the best one-against-one receiver, defender that they've got, the all-county player, who has tremendous vision, knows where the ball's going, and he smelled that out. He's had Provosto lined up.
He smelled that extremely well to the tune of a 1-yard loss.
2nd and 10, let's call it. Make it actually almost 11 from the 30-yard line. 1:10 to go, third quarter. Wishelds looking to throw. Has time. Lobbing it up the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. Bill Berkey was the intended receiver, and they had good defense on that play. Billy Hoare, number 35, dropping off from the end spot. The strong side end. 1:06 to go, and the clock stops as the play comes in from the sideline. There's a look at the West Islip Lion Band. What a job both bands did at halftime, Emerson Boozer.
2 outstanding bands along with their kick lines. I kind of enjoyed the halftime activity myself.
Kurt Jacoby and Jim Hackett now in at linebackers for Sachem. 3rd down and 11. Wishelds rolling under great pressure, throws it off complete to Capasso, but he'll be stopped shy of the first down by about 6 yards shy as he's run out of bounds by Kurt Jacoby and also John Kelton over there defending on the play. But he was running for his life as he got great pressure there as they seem to be blitzing, and he just got that pass off him.
Yes, he did. Giambino had a lot of heat on him, and Wishelm just barely got the football off to Capasso.
Provosto will be doing the punting, and back to receive the kick, Isernia, standing back at around the 35-yard line. Provosto off the side of his foot, line drives it downfield. Isernia tackled in the open field by Joe Malillo, number 80. Good open field tackle, but with 47 seconds left, Sachem gets it back, and they hold a 14-0 lead. Here we are at West Islip High School, and last year it was a different story, Emerson Boozer. The Lions were roaring here at home against the Sachem Flaming Arrows. At this point in the game, they had a 17-0 lead, and it eventually went on to a big victory.
Seeing this club of 86 as opposed to the 85 club, West Islip was a bit stronger offensively at the quarterback slot.
And that boy Marriage, of course, playing at Weston, Connecticut now. 1st and 10 for Sachem. Grespin gets away from one tackle and then stopped as he picked up a few yards. Clock ticking with 20 seconds to go as they unpile. Steve Dorn and Doug Parker on the last stop. They may not get another playoff here. Under 10 seconds to go. Joe Grespin leaves the game, and Wade Wilson checks in at fullback, and with 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, the third quarter now has come to an end. And Sachem just 12 minutes away from a victory to avenge the losses they've suffered in a row at the hands of West Islip. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. You're watching exciting championship football on Cablevision.
You see, today is tomorrow in Japan. So when you come for car tomorrow, it will be today.
Life takes a time. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Take it to Midas.
At Midas, we can replace mufflers, brake shocks, or struts on most foreign cars, and we won't take all day to do it. Time is money.
Take it to Midas.
If I'd wanted it tomorrow, old chap, I wouldn't be here today.
Take it to someone you trust.
Midas, with 11 convenient locations in Nassau County.
Jerry McDougall, I understand that Apple Bank offers the lowest rate in credit cards.
Yes, Barry, our 15.8% is the lowest Visa card rate in the New York metropolitan area.
Any other features, Jerry?
Many, Barry. For example, we offer Visa checks free of charge, and the $20 annual fee is deferred until first use of your card. Many banks charge as much as 19 to 20%, but at Apple Bank, you enjoy a world of credit at down-to-earth rates.
have a breaking 11 yards. Two.
We're back, as you see, part of the big crowd here at West Islip High School. It's a big 2nd and 3 play from the 36-yard line for Sachem. Handoff to Shanahan. He's into the secondary. He could go. And is down inside the 30-yard line. Chris Wallace on the stop, but Shanahan exploding on a 2nd and 3 play to give Sachem excellent field position at the 31 to 32-yard line.
Let's take another look at that, Barry. Watch off to the right of your screen behind Nine Sling and Pizzo. Shanahan gets a gaping hole, and only number 43, the free safety, Chris Wallace, saved the touchdown.
That one hurts for the West Islip club. Remember last week they did it with a big 4th quarter to come back and beat Brentwood. But now Walsh has his club at excellent scoring position. Movement in the line, one of the few penalties we've had.
That's going to be against the left guard, number 53, Dan Pendeloff.
And they'll mark it off against Sachem. Nick Pizzo may have drawn him offside. So they'll mark it back. It'll be 1st and 15 for Sachem. This is the 7th time that Sachem's been in the conference final, as you saw the officials call. They've won 4 and lost 2, but they've lost 2 in a row, Em. So these kids remember the game that they lost at Walt Whitman at 84. They remember the game they lost here at West Islip last year, and they could taste victory here.
At the top of the ball game, we mentioned that this club offensively and basically defense for Sachem were all juniors last year.
They've never had an undefeated team at Sachem. Shanahan stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Bill Berkey.
Number 15, Bill Berkey, outstanding linebacker, all-county linebacker. Great nose for the football, and that time he showed it.
Great instincts, and that hip pointer doesn't seem to be bothering him. They kept him out of the game last week against Brentwood. There you see Sachem's dominance. West Islip, a club that gains over 300 yards a game offensively, held to 51 so far. And Sachem, despite not getting a first down in that 3rd quarter, still with pretty good statistics, 191 yards. 10:40 to go, and the clock ticks as Isernia checks into the ball game for Dave Shanahan at the tailback spot. 2nd and 15 at the 37. Now a delay of game. That's about the 3rd time that's happened. So it'll set up a 2nd and 20 from the 42.
I get the feeling that Walsh is getting the plays in a little bit too late from the sideline, which is causing the 3rd delay of game here by Sachem.
Well, Sachem remembers in 1983 when they went 9-0-1 tying Brentwood. They were denied the Rutgers Cup that year when it went to the Bayshore Club, and they want to win it. There's a young lady saying hi and enjoying the day. Pretty nice weather here for football in late November. Walsh on a long 2nd and 20, looking to throw. Now trying to run away from the trouble, and he's going to be taken down after a pickup of around 4 of 5 as he's brought down by Bill Berkey among a whole host of the blue-clad West Islip Lions as they unpile.
Good bit of scrambling there by Walsh, noticing right away that all of his receivers downfield were well covered, and the little guy just took off, scampering for about a good 4 or 5 yards.
Walsh doesn't get a lot of recognition. He almost pulled out that first Lindenhurst game throwing well. Young man started 4 games as a junior. He was 3-1, and the game that he lost, the only game that he lost, was against West Islip when he quarterbacked this championship game last year.
This young guy is a leader too, Barry. I saw him doing the heated battle when the penalty infraction occurred for unsportsmanlike against West Islip. He settled his ball club down.
Pitch coming to Isernia. They'll try a pass play here. Looking deep, lobs it downfield. He's got a man out there, and it goes incomplete. As he was looking downfield for Jeff Strand in the end zone, there were 3 blue shirts around, including Glenn Gerardo. And it's a little razzle-dazzle. Chris Wallace was also over there defending, so they had the play well covered. But Mr. Strand got up pretty good there and almost came up with that football.
Outstanding play by Jeff Strand. He's 6'1", 165 pounds. Now, Glenn is only 5'10", so he's got him by about 3 inches on him, a couple of inches on him.
We'll have another punt by Brian Harvey. Provosto standing back near the goal line. Harvey will try to kick it to the near sideline. It bounces down inside the 20, inside the 10. Good roll for Sachem, and it'll be down at around the 5 or 6 yard line. Once again, let's go to the sidelines. Carl Reuter.
Thanks very much, Barry. Just walked over from the Sachem sidelines where they're talking about a certain piece of hardware they'd like to get their hands on, and it's called the Rutgers Cup. And I walked over and I saw number 65, Tony Gambino, defensive tackle, and I said, Tony, you got it wrapped up yet? He said, well, I kind of think so. He says, we'd really like to get another touchdown. I said, for the team, you'd like to make it 21-0? He said, no, for myself. I want to get the quarterback, intercept the pass, and run it into the end zone. I guess that's how he wants to finish off his career here at Sachem. Barry?
Well, he won't get a chance on this play as Provosto trying to punch out some yardage from the 6 yard line where they were started, and he was stopped by Frank Iacono and Tony Gambino. And that middle of the line has done an outstanding job today. Let's give credit to the entire front 5, Kevin Bauer and Billy Hoare at the ends, Gary Butel and Tony Gambino at the tackles, and that nose man, Frank Iacono.
Iacono has done an outstanding job along with Butel. Matter of fact, as you just mentioned, that entire front 5 of the Arrows have done very well.
2nd and 8 to the air will go with Shelms. Deep down the field, looking out there. Incomplete, intended for Berkey. Jim Crossan was defending on the play, and it goes incomplete as Crossan, who plays that nickelback spot, was step for step with Berkey on that play.
Shelm had lots of arm behind that ball, but well covered by the Flaming Arrows of Sachem.
So the clock stops with 8:31 to go. 3rd and 8 from the 8 yard line. Em, do you know what a Sachem is?
No, I don't. It must be an Indian.
It's an Indian chief, they tell me.
Okay, somewhere there.
That's why they have the flaming arrows somewhere. All right, back to throw with Shelms. Big 3rd down chance here. Throwing deep, runs into the receiver, run into the defender over there as he ran into Fred Kemp, and it'll be a pass interference penalty. Now remember, in high school rules, they do not mark the penalty up where the infraction occurs, but they mark it off from the line of scrimmage. Nevertheless, it should be a 1st down because they needed 8, and they'll get more than that on the penalty here.
That was somewhat of an unfair call. The defender, number 21, John Kelton, or number 10, Fred Kemp, rather, had his back turned looking for the football, and the receiver actually ran over him. Watch it again here. There he is. Now he turns to go, and the receiver just outright flattens him. Number 86, Brian Bowers.
So the officials have conferred, however, and it will be a 1st down up at the 24 yard line. So it's 1st and 10. A big break for West Islip on that one, and let's see if they can cash in as they're up now at the 23, let's call it. With Shelms dropping straight back to throw, throwing it complete to Bowers. Bowers has the 1st down, stopped by Ralph Isernia as the 6'3", 185-pound all-league player who caught 20 passes last year. He's a kid who can catch in a crowd, and Bowers comes up with a reception.
Let's take another look at that as you see the big tight end Bauer off to the left of your screen. With Shelm comes right now, 3-step drop, bingo into the big tight end. Nice looking play.
Right back to throw with Shelms, and sacked. He goes down. Number 55 on the tackle. Check it, number 65, Tony Gambino. 6'1", 205-pound senior, honorable mention all league, and it's his 3rd sack of the year.
Let's take another look and see where Gambino comes from. He just outright beats his man, as you see right there, number 70 in front of him, and wallops the quarterback.
2nd and 14 from the 34, and maybe they ought to take a page out of Long Beach here and try to come out without a huddle, because time is a factor. They trail by 14, 7:40 to go, and Wishel's on 2nd and long. Throwing, complete short pattern to Capasso, and he'll not get much as he was stopped defensively on the play by Kurt Jacoby, the captain and linebacker. Wayne Charant sending in the play. Got to be concerned certainly now as Dave Camella will check in with the play.
Indeed he is. I think it's about time that he goes with his hurry-up offense, somewhat of a 2-minute offense, because they have the ability to score, meaning West Islip. It's just that they have not sustained a good drive all afternoon.
The biggest play of the day, 3rd and 12 for West Islip, trailing 14-0. Wishel's looking to the sideline for Berkey. He's got it, but it'll be shy of the 1st down, and a flag goes down. Might be a late hit over there. Let's wait and see. They would have been shy of the 1st down. There is a flag on the play. They would have been about 4 yards shy. Ralph Isernia was covering there, and looks like a helmet personal foul against Sachem.
It was a blow to the head, somewhat belatedly, but I think it was intended to try to strip the ball. Watch it again here. You see the right hand come over the top. I think what Cerny was trying to do is to jaw the football loose.
So that is a big play. Let's see if West Islip can do what Sachem did, take advantage of a key penalty late in the first half and score their second touchdown.
Plenty of time left, 6 minutes, 52 seconds approximately, and a lot of points to be scored with that much time on the board.
Yeah, the West Islip fans hope that can happen here. Slot right formation. As Berkey comes in motion, 1st and 10 from the 41. Good blocking this time, rolling. Looking downfield, and it's going to be batted around, intercepted on a diving attempt by Kurt Jacoby, number 64. What a play, and that could be the biggest play for the Sachem Arrows this afternoon.
I think now that play, that could have been interference call down there. The bodies and ball, the bodies and the ball was bouncing around. One of the receivers looked like to be hit a little bit too soon, but as it turned out, the Flaming Arrows of Sachem has the football. Let's watch it again here now. See as the ball bounces, the receiver behind is hit kind of early, I think, by number 21, John Kelton.
Ball was tipped, and it was up for grabs.
Oh, once the ball is tipped, it's anybody's ball then.
So Sachem putting it in play, 1st and 10, 6:20 to go. The ball at the 13-yard line. Comstock in motion. Shanahan off the left side of the line into the secondary, has the first down before he's dragged down on the far side by Chris Wallace and Bill Berkey.
Let's take another look at that interception. I thought that might have been an interference call, but once the ball is tipped, anything can happen. As you see Bauer now going up for the football, tipped off the hands here, tipped off again by one of the defenders. I think it was Kelton, and then the big interception.
Jacoby with a tremendous interception. What concentration by Jacoby to come up with it. Bowers was open initially if that ball had been able to have been thrown to him when he was open. 2nd down. 1st down, I beg your pardon, after they picked up the 1st down at the 31-yard line. The fullback gets the call, and Grespin is stopped after a gain of about a yard. Dave O'Connell on the stop. 6 minutes to go. West Islip's undefeated season and a conference championship and Rutgers Cup may be on the line right now unless they can turn around very quickly this ball game. They have won 19 in a row. They've beaten Sachem 3 straight times, and 6 of the last 7 times they've met. This time Shanahan stopped after a pickup of maybe 2 as Dave O'Connell again breaking up the play. 5:25 and counting. Sachem has won 1 Rutgers Cup in their illustrious history, and that came in 1977 when they won 8-1. Their last win against West Islip in September of 1983 when they won 16-8. That game had Hofja. Now timeout will be taken by Sachem as the clock stops with 5:03 to go. Well, the Flaming Arrows enjoying it. It's been a long time since they've held a lead and came away with a victory against this West Islip club. Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule. We've got a football game coming up next week, the Exceptional Seniors game. That'll be played at CW Post, Nassau County's best, locking horns, and then it's basketball time. Lutheran Holiday Classic features North Babylon against Holy Trinity and St. Agnes against Lutheran. And we hope that you'll be tuned in for our basketball schedule as Stan Kellner joins me for the basketball season. It's been an outstanding season. We've had an opportunity to do Liberty Conference football. We saw some great games. We saw Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy come up with a fine season, winning the Liberty Conference championship. And for the high schools, we've seen an outstanding Hempstead team the other day, and certainly we're seeing a great team here in Sachem.
We're seeing some good football both at the high school level along with the Liberty Conference. My only trouble with the Liberty Conference season when I had trouble getting to Fordham.
You had trouble getting to some of these games, didn't you? Shanahan has carried the ball 20 times for 104 yards, and Walsh has done a pretty good job as quarterback. Pretty effective, Jay. We'll give you his stats in just a moment. 5 for 8 for 61 yards, 1 for a touchdown, and the other big pass that helped set up the other touchdown. Here we go with a third down play. 3rd and 6, 5:03 to go. Sachem leading by 14. Another first down here could pretty much put it away. He'll throw Walsh. Now he's trying to scramble and try to get it off at the last moment before he was driven down. Jerry Rawl, number 52, the defensive end, stopped him. So Sachem will be forced to punt. And they need a return here from Mr. Provosto. They need a big play here to score quickly.
Here's the time to do it. The defense again has stood strong and come up with that first sack of the day on Walsh. And now Provosto has a chance to get his club on the board.
So the punt coming. Let's see if they try to block it. Brian Harvey. They do come this time. They're in there, but he gets it away. Spiraling it downfield, a beauty. And it takes a bounce out of bounds at around the 31 or 32 yard line. So they'll be some 69 yards away from pay dirt. 4:24 to go for the West Islip Lions. And their unbeaten season and Rutgers Cup on the line right here.
Beautiful punt that time by Harvey. Was that Brian Harvey hitting the ball? He angled it away to the left far sideline, keeping it away from Provosto and not allowing a return.
Clock stopped as it went out of bounds. Jay Malillo comes out as a flanker to the left. Quarterback George Wishelms had his problems today. Dropping straight back to throw. In trouble. Scrambling. Tries to get out of bounds and does to stop the clock. Kevin Bauer shoving him out. Clock stops with 4:17 to go as they pick up a couple of yards on the play. Let's call it 4. 2nd and 6 from the 35. Hope you've enjoyed our action the last couple of weeks in Suffolk County football. And the other big game today, Bayshore going up against East Islip. And for the Conference 3 championship, Wyandanch at Miller Place. Congratulations to Hempstead and Garden City, already winners at Nassau County Conference 1 and 2 football. Wishelms slipping and will be down. Once again, Frank Iacono, the nose man, on top of Wishelms. And again, that lack of mobility maybe that Wishelms has compared to last year's quarterback who was a magician. They said Peter Marriage playing at Western Connecticut. That showed on that play.
Mr. Marriage was the key, I think, overall key from last year's club as opposed to this. He was really something at the quarterback slot.
3:45 to go. And a big 3rd and 12 from the 29 facing the West Islip Lions. A club that had scored 102 points in their last 3 games coming in here. And they have been blanked so far by the Sachem defense. Play action to the sideline, complete to Bowers, close to the first down. And let's see where they spot the football. It looks like it'll be close to the first down. Ralph Isernio was defending. The clock stops with 3:24 to go.
Let's see it again here as Wishelm gets out and finds his receiver, Kevin Bauer, number 86, off to the left of your screen. Nice touch. You see Bauer in the open, hauls it in, and comes extremely close as number 22, Isernio, makes the tackle.
They're going to bring the chains in, although 4th down is showing on the far side, but West Islip has requested a measurement. Clock stopped with 3:24 to go. In either case, West Islip, if it isn't a first down, will undoubtedly have to go for it. So the West Islip Lions in deep trouble here. And as they move the chains out, it is a first down for the Lions. Well, they're going to have to try to get the first downs quickly here and get big yardage. Number 87, Dave Camella, lines up as a flanker to the right side. Berkey on the short side of the field, a flanker to the left. Wishelms in trouble, lost the ball for a moment. It's fumbled. And let's see, it's going to be recovered by Tony Gambino, number 65, and that will sew it up. So the 2 big plays, the turnovers late in the 4th quarter, ruining West Islip chances. The interception by Jacoby and the fumble recovery by Gambino.
Let's watch it again here as Wishelm gets back. He seems to lose his footing a bit as he stops to set up. Now the right leg comes out from under him. The ball hits the ground. He loses total control of it. And was that Gambino or was it Horry?
65 looked like. Yep, and Horry was on top of him. Now we get timeout taken by West Islip. And there is a flag down on the field. Yeah, there you see the Sachem sidelines. And they have waited a long time for this victory. Just to show you, Em, as far as the walk-off will be against West Islip, 15 yards.
That's another big penalty, I think. Unsportsmanlike conduct, the second one of the afternoon. That first one was very costly, and this one might be just as costly.
Now, to show you, this Sachem club has been such an outstanding club over the last 3 or 4 years. You can see Shanahan's rushing yardage, and who would have believed it? West Islip held to 28 yards rushing today by Sachem. They've been forced to pass, and the fullback taken down, Joe Grespin. But more importantly for Sachem, they hold on to the football, and the clock continues to tick. Nick Pizzo's played a fine game, and Dave O'Connell combining on that last stop. Well, Sachem gives up only 5 points a ball game. So far, they haven't yielded that many.
On the other side of the field, West Islip was only averaging about 6 points per ball game.
Well, the last 4 years, Sachem is 33-6, and 3 of those 6 losses have been to West Islip. A little reverse here, razzle-dazzle as they try to run it for Strand. Strand down the sideline, shoved out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, stopped by Steve Dorn. But that's kind of a strange play. There's also a flag on the play, I believe. And let's wait and see. So Jeff Strand coming up with a reverse, and let's watch it on the replay.
Let's watch this reverse again here as Walsh hands off on the toss back to Cernia, and Cernia gives the ball back to Strand, and Strand really is off to the races.
It'll be a 3rd down play as he picked up a nice gain. About 8 yards on the play. Let's call it about 3rd and a yard from the 9-yard line. 2:19 to go for Sachem as they try to finish it off here with a touchdown. Handoff going to Shanahan, met at the line of scrimmage and shoved back. Doug Parker, the very tough little right cornerback, 5'10", 160-pounder. And it's close to the 1st down. See if they'll bring the chains in and measure. The officials do want a measurement. And we'd like to thank all the people here at West Islip, Athletic Director Jack Bradish, and all the people for their hospitality. Section coordinator for football, as well as Kathy Gallagher, the head of Section 1. Section 11, I should say. And our thanks to all those people. And thanks to our spotters who've done an excellent job today. Danny McKenna, communications major and a soccer player here at West Islip, and Dick Westerveld from Sachem. Charlie McGuckin is the president of Section 11, a good friend of ours from Half Hollow Hills, and I want to thank him for his help as well, and the rest of the people. Here we go now. 1st and goal. Shanahan off the left side, inside the 5 to around the 4, 1:48 to go. Let's go to the sidelines and Carl Reuter.
Barry, you're getting a look at number 20 for West Islip, Joe Provosto, and empty feeling right now for the senior who's not going to play any more football after today. And I just walked over to him, and he's got some tears in his eyes right now. I think he's just visibly upset. His team has not performed the way that they thought they were capable of performing, and they're going to bow out today against a strong Sachem club. And Joe Provosto, a heck of a ball player, not one that's going to like seeing Sachem celebrate in just a very few moments. Barry?
All right, Carl, and there's got to be a winner and a loser, Em, in every contest. Last year it was their chance to celebrate. We have another penalty call. Looks like offsides against West Islip, half the distance to the goal line, which is about a yard down there. So it'll be 2nd down and goal to go.
You know, Barry, losing is nothing. You never can accept a loss. You try to gear yourself up for the loss if it happens, but once it does happen, you're never ready for it.
Well, Sachem remembers last year, and they were embarrassed here. Maybe they're trying to punch another one in here. This time, Icernia at the goal line lost the football, and West Islip gets it back with 55 seconds to go. Anthony Zito coming up with the football. Anthony Zito coming up with a big play. And let's take another look at it.
Let's see what happened here as Cernia loses control of the football. He never really had control. As you see there, everybody makes a mad scramble for the football. On the toss from Walls back to Cernia, he never really gained control of it.
So we go back to West Islip with one dying gasp here to get on the board, trailing with 48 seconds to go. First turnover for Sachem in the entire ball game. What a difference a year makes. The more experienced club in the grasp. He'll throw it. Capasso's got it. Turns it upfield. Bounces for a first down as he's down at around the 15-yard line. As he was stopped. No huddle. 34 seconds. The clock stops. Jimmy Crossan on the last tackle. Now the whistle will put the ball back in play and the clock starts again. Wichel throwing to the sideline as they just back off and allow the completion over there, as it was complete to Dave Camella, the split end, number 87. That stops the clock with 29 seconds. John Kelton defending on that one. The ball at the 30-yard line, I believe. Is that correct, Carl? Is it up to the third, Carl and Frank? Or is it the 25? A little tough to pick up. It is the 25-yard line. There's the coach of West Islip. And getting snowed under Wichel, taken down by Frank Iacono and Tony Gambino. That's been the story, really, typified today. It's been for West Islip.
It's been very tough for West Islip, as indicated here, as Iacono comes in to smother Wichel. We'll take another look at it here. As you see the back of number 17, George Wichel. Now looks number 65, middle of your screen, wraps him up. It's been that kind of a day.
And as we go back to the live action, an incompletion thrown by Wichel, looking for Jay Malillo on the far sideline, and with 5 seconds left, Sachem fans ready to explode on the far side. They're ready to lift Freddie Fusaro up on the shoulders. The monkey's going to be off his back, as he puts it in.
It's been a long haul for Coach Fusaro. He's tried for the last 3 years to beat this club, and finally he has reached that goal.
Well, Sachem, not in any defense of West Islip, a big school. They've got over 5,000 students, a senior class of almost 1,500. West Islip student body totaling 1,600. But they've been fine football rivals over the years. Last play of the game, maybe. Berkey can't catch it. 2 seconds left. And it'll be a fourth down play, and this will finally be the last play of the season for both these clubs. So West Islip now will go on the year to 9-1. Their 19-game winning streak is snapped. And Sachem will finish the season 9-1. And they're very interested in what happened 5 miles down the road over at East Islip. As I said before, should Bayshore upset East Islip, you'd have to think that Sachem would be the Rutgers Cup champion.
It's got to be a fine contest. We saw Bayshore a couple of weeks ago. I didn't see much of East Islip, but certainly Bayshore is a fine football team.
East Islip, a great offensive club. And the handoff going to Provosto is his final play. He gets the first down, is stopped, and the Flaming Arrows are a happy bunch on the far side as the players mob their teammates on the field. The game ball held by the officials. Wayne Charant will congratulate his opposite number, Fred Fusaro, as Sachem has won the conference championship decisively here with a 14-0 victory at the Lion Field. And the Lion fans just below us up on their feet applauding as you see the players on the West Islip Club upset. Joe Provosto, the Sachem players happy. Oh, a tale of two teams. Sachem came with revenge on their minds as the players now will shake hands. The two coaches congratulate one another as the Flaming Arrows, for the first time in the last 3 years, come up with a conference championship. And they have won now 5 conference championships and lost 2 in the conference finals. There's Provosto and Bill Berkey, the outstanding all-county seniors. And it's a moment that they will share now with the Sachem players.
The pain will soon subside, but it will take a day or two. You think how close you've come to being champions again. And once you've been a champion, you really want to get back there again.
Well, Shanahan carried 22 times for 110 yards. Comstock caught 2 passes for 54 yards. And, of course, Walsh did a good job running the club. 1 turnover in the entire game.
Indeed, he did. Surprised just about everybody at the West Islip side when he dropped back to throw the football.
We'll be back. Emerson Boozer and I, along with Carl Reuter, with our Apple Bank player of the game, and a chat with a happy coach, Fred Fusaro, when we return. You've been watching Championship High School Football on Cablevision. Jerry, costs are going up and up as far as college education is concerned. How's Apple Bank trying to help defray some of those costs?
We understand what's happening to educational costs, Barry, and at Apple Bank, we've devised a student loan program that helps the family budget.
How could people find out about this program?
All they need to do is to visit any one of our branches or call the student loan hotline number.
Apple Bank for Savings, with 5 convenient locations on Long Island.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited.